there. Welcome back. A lot have been changed on the APM side as compared to 2021. So I was just exploring the APM concept since I started in early 2021. Lot has been changed in terms of the provisioning of the APM services and all. So I just thought to create a quick tutorial around this. So let's try to understand how we can enable this capability, and as compared to this, so this is the older blog actually, which is written with a series of the scenarios actually, which will definitely give some basic understanding in terms of the API. So what we will do here, so this is my trial account, and here as a first step of when you go to the BTP, you need to assign the roles related to the APIM. So let's assume that we are already having the roles related to the APIM. So self-service administrator, this role is available. So now if I come here and the integration suite, after enabling the integration suite, this is what the landing page we are having. So under the settings, we are having APIs. So we have to just click on the APIs. It will start launching the APIM for us. It will take a couple of minutes to launch that. So account is being provisioned. Please wait. So let this get finished. So what will happen? So once this is being provisioned to us, we will see some of the options are available over here on the left-hand panel specific to the API. And we also have to add some roles as well. So those roles will be available to us. So primarily there are three things which we should be aware of in terms of the APIM is so these things can be considered as if somebody is asking you in terms of the interviews as well, APIM provider, and yes, then API proxy, and we also create product. Okay, so we call it as API product. Just one moment. The API also get something around the API product. So what is API provider? It's actually the target system or the backend system. And first we will create the API provider. Once we have the provider, then we will create the proxy. This is the proxy endpoint. And then after that, we will be creating a product. So the product will be the bundle of the API proxies which we create. And one provider can have multiple proxies as well. So now our capability is most likely it is added over here. So we will go and log in again. To the system. So once this is logged in, we will see some additional options over here on the left-hand panel. And by the time I will also let me refresh the BTP cockpit as well, because we also have to add one more row in the BTP cockpit as well. So now we will see that some additional options are also available for us here. So now under the settings, you do not see that API what we saw just before this when we enable this option. Now under the design test, under the test, you will find API option there, and under the configure, you will find APIs as well. So then you have to come to the right hand side here. We should also have the API hub option also available there. So for that, what we have to do for that, I think that is not being set over here. So I will go to the capability page, and here I will configure. Let me click on manage capabilities. Looks like that option is not being set over here. So once you add it, okay, so this developer hub, it should be checked over here. So I'm just selecting this developer hub and then okay. So once we enable this developer hub, you should be able to see the option over here now. Let me refresh it, this page. We can come here again. Now we can see developer hub is available here. We will just select this. It will take us to the developer hub, and now it is mentioning that some roles are missing. So we need this particular role to be added so that we can launch the developer hub. So when we go to the BTP under the users, this is the user. I'm having assign role. Just select this cell. Assign to connection. Looks like this needs refresh, might be. That's the reason it is not coming. So let me refresh it. Page once again. Let me come back. So this auth group self-service admin role needs to be added to the user. So we will go to the not here on the BTP. I will come here under the users. I will select the specific user, assigned role, auth group self-service admin. Auth group self-service admin. So self-service admin. Yeah. So this is what I should be needing. So now this role is added over here, and then it would need one more time to log out and log in again so that it can take this particular role into action. Log in, successfully logged out, back, and we will again launch it with the user ID and password. I need to enable. Now, what next? Once this is logged in, then the next thing is we will start creating the provider. So what we will do for this particular scenario, I'm having one more cloud integration tenant available with me. So what I will be doing? So this is just for the testing. I have created one cloud integration flow where I am starting with an HTTP endpoint and I want to send some request to the HTTP endpoint. And this is the endpoint I have configured. So I'm going to hit this endpoint via APIM. And this is what we have assigned as a body. We have just given some text inside the body. Connection success to SAP CI. So for this, what I would be needing, I would be needing the endpoint of this particular integration flow, and I should have the client ID and secret to access this as well. So as a first point, what we will be doing, we need the endpoint of this particular integration flow. So the concept will remain same. So I will just copy this and just, so we need to first create a provider. For this provider, I would be needing this information. So now I am going to the actual tenant where we are having the APM related configuration are there. So we will come here and under the configure, we will click on this APIs. And once this page is launched, first we will create an API provider. I will click on create. Let's call it as SAP CI. Let's call it same CI services. And here under the connection, it would be internet. Okay, so we can select it as internet, and then even there is an option of cloud integration as well. So we can give the cloud integration host name and all, and you have to give the user ID and credentials over here, and even we can take it as internet as well. And what we have to do, we have to take this section of the URL because I'm going to hit my cloud integration API endpoint, and then the port would be 443 SSL. I need to select this. I will come here, and then I will select as a basic, and then here I need to provide the client ID and secret. So for client ID and secret, I need to go to the BTP cockpit. I should have created an instance. From the instance, we will be generating a service key, secret client ID and secret key. So based on that, we will be getting this information. So I have already created this information. Then after giving this information, we need to do a connection test. 404 means it's okay for us now. So now we have created the provider. We will come here, and this is how we will able to see the provider. Now the next thing is we have to come and we have to create a proxy. So we'll create a new proxy. And now I'm going to take the provider. It is from the provider and what I'm going to access. So now I'm going to take this endpoint, the endpoint which I have given in the cloud integration configuration. So if you hover around this, it will also give you some suggestion as how it should be looking like as flag. So this is the endpoint of our, and let me call it connection CI and connection to CI tenant. And host client ID. And so here we have to give some versioning and all base API. So let's call it as the way it is suggesting. So we just started with it slash v1 slash CI connection. And now I will be taking it as a REST and then create. So now we are done with the proxy. And here, when you come on the target endpoint also, you will find this information provided to us. We will just click on save. Now, what is the next thing? We will assign one policy on top of it. So we'll click on this policy and under the proxy endpoint, I want to set it in the free flow. And let's say I will just click on this edit and select this free flow, and then I will click on this verify API key and I will give a name API key incoming request, and then automatically one script will be available for us. So we need to make changes in the script. So we can refer this particular blog. So some section of this blog will definitely help us. Though the screens are changed, but when you come here, so we are configuring this particular case. Here, when you come down, this needs to be changed. At the bottom, you will find for accessing the API key, what we have to mention here, I will just assign, I will read it from the request header dot API key. So what will happen when we are going to send a request to this endpoint, we need to add one header with the API key. So this API key will be generated for us. So I'm just updating, and then I will just deploy this policy. I'm able to update. Save it. And now we will deploy. API deployed successfully. And then we will come back here. Coming back, is it deployed? Okay, so now we are done until here. Now what is next? So we have created two steps, API provider we have done, and the proxy also we have created, and we have assigned the policy as well. So what is next? Now we need to create a product which will bundle these policies. So, but before creating a product, I want to launch the hub so that we can see how actually it is going to see in terms of the UI changes and all, what exactly we will be able to see over here. So when you launch here, the central enterprise API, so you need to just click on. So this is for the very first time, and I'm just giving all this information, and the registration is being processed. We will send notification. So post this, click to register an application. The registration will process, we send an email notification, the registration is complete. So we'll just refresh it. Okay, so now let me go to the API hub once again. Out. So on the API hub, actually, we are going to, so the partners, they will be subscribing the services when they will, if they want any specific service to be consumed by them. So they will be creating an application, and from the application, they will be subscribing the products. So that is how the subscription will happen. And using the API key, the header which we have added, using that particular header API key, we will start calling the services. So let this get launched. SAP API. Okay, so now if you see here, there are no published products as of now, because it's a fresh installation. So we will not able to see any products as well, because we have not created any products. So this is how it will look like. So on the developer hub, you will see this. So whatever the products will be available on our APIM, so those will be available in this particular section. You can choose based on the need, basically the partner they will be choosing. And on the workspace, we have to create a new application basically, and that application will be, the product will be assigned to the particular application. And on the admin center, we can also do some admin related activities. We can see the status as well. So now, so what we will do, we will go and create a product first, and then we will start seeing entries over here. So let's go to our integration suite, this landing page, and then here we need to click on this engage. So again, this is also changed as compared to the previous version of the APM settings and all. So you need to click on this engage, and then we have to create a product. So now I will just create one product. Let's call it, let's give it a name as demo product. Okay, and we just give it as first product exploration, let's call it. And other stuff we can also maintain. And what I will also add here is I will click on add, and now API, which particular API we need to add. So if there will be multiple APIs, then you can select it from the dropdown. So right now we only created one API provider is there. So we are just selecting this one and we'll just publish it. So once you publish this product, now this product will be available on this particular section on the developer hub. So I'm just refreshing this page. So now you can see that this product is available for us now. So what is the next thing? We have to come here on the workspace and we need to create one application. So let's say we want to create application for the iOS devices. So we'll just call it as iOS. It as for S and we consume by iOS devices only, and then select this, and we can only create application on behalf of a developer. Okay, so create application on behalf of a developer, and then okay, let's see. Okay, I got it. What is the problem? Actually, we have to in the admin manage users. Okay, so we have mail configuration. So you can even register new users from here as well. Okay, so let's say I'm adding a new user. I want this user to be assigned with all the rows, let's say. State and add. Request. So now we will come to the workspace, create, then we just call it as for iOS, iOS, iOS devices, for iOS devices, and create this application in behalf of someone. So let's call it, I want to create on behalf of this user and add product. Now here you will get the list of your products. Since we are having only one product, so I just selected this particular product here. So it will generate an API key for us. So the policy which we have added. So we will just copy and paste it over here. So now we would be needing this key. So what we can do, you can see all the information. If you want to delete anything, you can delete it as well. So we'll come to the admin section of this key, and here you will see that product there and here. So now here you can have connect to now source station. We will be testing this service now. Connections. So you will find there are various options over here. Reset. It's like it's a bit slow. Okay. Anyways, we will try to wait from here. So let's call it APIs, and from here I can select this particular API, and I need to add the header, and my header is API key, and I will assign the value over here. Operation I can use post, and whatever I am going to send, let's say hello, and if I send it, it should 401. Okay, because I have not added the user ID and password. Authentication. So it is a basic. I will be selecting my client ID and secret. So this is my client ID, and the password is the secret key. Okay, and just send it. API key request very well done. API key. API key we have already copied. So we just copy this API key and paste it over here. Just send it. So you can see there is one successful result. Okay, so if the key we are going to make any changes to this key, let's say I have put one underscore, and if I just send it, can get access that invalid API key, and 401 error we have already seen. If we make any changes to the header, let me just put an underscore, and if I just try to send it, so it will say it's a 401 error. So now this is how we can run end-to-end. We can configure our cloud integration, and in the same way, we can configure other APIs as well. So this is how we can see. And now if I go to my cloud integration monitoring, so if I go to the monitoring of my cloud integration, I should be able to see a couple of feeds, success feeds, because now the feed has come from the API endpoint towards my cloud integration. So you should be able to see some messages over here. Let me just okay, no, we will not be able to see over here because it's a different tenant. So for this, I have to go to my tenant number 2. So if I come here and if I go to the monitoring, should be able to see over here. So 2 requests we have sent, API connection check. So we can able to see. So now if I try to send one more message to the API, so if I need to select it, I can select it.
Yes, please.
I should be adding the basic authentication, client ID, and secret key, followed by the header, API key, and the value of the API key. I have already copied, so we'll take this value and we will assign the key over here, post method, and just send. So we are having one new message. If we refresh, so we can see. So this is how we can configure end-to-end. So I hope you have found this small video interesting, and it's just a the reason for this basically because some of the fellow consultants, they were following the blog, and because of the change in the structures, means UI changes, this blog is a little confusing now. So now we have seen that how to enable the API capability within our cloud integration. So that is what you can refer. And other thing is for creating the policies. After creating the policy, when we are going to create the product actually. So for that product, for creation of the product also, the screen is changed. Now for creation of the product, you need to come to this engage section. So I hope you have found this small video interesting. Thanks for watching. Thank you.